Just keep working hard, and keep your head down and focus, and then everything else organically will fall in its place like a puzzle, man. I would say.
Yeah, and fuck your Mexican family who makes fun of you,
Dude.
for any reason.
Those fucking my family
biggest bullies, bro.
they are, dude. And you know what's crazy is that I turn out the same way, dude. Like I do that too.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Jalissa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brennan. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
And we have a special guest today. We got etc. etc.
What's
Welcome.
up?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm
Yeah.
stoked to be here.
Yeah, us
Yeah.
too, dude. We were ready. We were willing. We were getting ready for you before you got here.
I'm low-key fangirling a little bit. No, yeah, I had seen you at the Galaxy. I think one time you had performed there before you did like the big show this recent time. And I had seen you actually at Countdown in 2019. That's where I first saw you. And I remember I was like, who is this DJ? I was like, well, because we were there, we were just walking around and we just like stumbled upon like where the area where you were at.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I really was into your music. And I wanted to ask, what specific genre of EDM music would you say you are?
I don't know. See, I think that's where, like we were talking before the pod, where like kind of anything fits under the umbrella, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bit of everything. So I say for the most part, I'm more Latin rooted.
Mm-hmm.
So like I try to incorporate Latin into bass music, into like either whether it's house music, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I would say I'm more Latin rooted than anything, but it's a little bit of everything. I at least try to dabble, sprinkle my sound and
Yeah.
sound.
So you would say you identify as a Latino EDM artist?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, you can see the nopal on my face. But yeah, 100%.
That's interesting. What do you think draws Latinos to EDM music?
I mean, I think EDM, it gives you like, see, for me, when I was growing up, around my house, it was always Latin music, you know what I mean? Whether it was cumbias or bandas. And I think it has that flavor, you know what I mean? Where it's just like the upbeat flavor. It's like doom, or whatever it is. And I think that's kind of what Latinos kind of go for. They like to dance.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Latinos like to dance. There's always the one that's in the corner that's like, nah, I'm too cool. But I think for the most part, we like to dance, whether it's for anything, and anything that has a good rhythm, rhythmically. I think that we are all drawn to it. I think,
Yeah.
and I think that's why Latinos. I think that's why you see more Latinos at festivals than anything. At least from my eyes, or when I talk on the mic, I'm like, where my Latinos at? And I always hear more, but. Maybe it's because they're there to see me. I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
I also feel like, I was going to add a little bit more. I also feel like if you ever been to like a Latino party, you just see all the lights, like all the sonideros.
It's like a pachanga, dude.
Yeah.
It's a fiesta. It's like a quince. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just like,
that's true. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it also reminds me of reggaeton, because reggaeton is kind of the same way. And I know some people who are like, they're into reggaeton, but they're not into EDM. And it confuses me because I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of similarities within those two genres.
right. Well, like there's moombahton, where I make a lot of it, and it's kind of like reggaeton and an electronic music, which it's like reggaeton with fucking noises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that's where it's crossing right now. Like that's the kind of stuff that like Bad Bunny's doing, and all the reggaeton artists that are bringing. I mean, even Peso Pluma's doing stuff like that. He has that song with DJ Snake right now. You know what I mean? And it's everyone's trying to cross over, and it's a good meeting point. You know, dance music and Hispanic music. I think it mixes well. I would say, yeah.
I wonder where the like rise to fame came for electronic music, because I feel like it hasn't always been popular. I mean, there was a point it didn't even exist. I wonder, do you have any?
Well, I think where I started noticing, where it started going up, really was, at least in my era, was like when Afrojack started making like Dutch house, and it started incorporating like the elements of like tropical music and like dembow and all the offbeats, and it was like more dancier, and it had vocals and chords, and it became more club music, I would say, right? And I think that's where it started to build, and people started, because house music was always underground, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then once it started becoming a little bit more mainstream, it's when it started to pop. You had Black Eyed Peas kind of making stuff like that too. People that were making rap started kind of, like even Jennifer Lopez with like Waiting for Tonight. That was a dance song, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, which started like coming into the sphere of hip hop, R&B and stuff like that. And I think once somebody found the way to mix it, I think even Calvin Harris kind of started making it kind of popular on both ends, because he started getting, very popular acts into his music, and it started, incorporating it into that, and it became more mainstream, I would say.
Yeah.
And right now it's still rising with it, whether it's dubstep or dubstep, house, hard techno, stuff like that. So I mean, even hard techno, which was more like also underground, people like Geo or like Jim Jester are starting to add their own like little flavor to it and bringing it back, adding like the homie Ray Burger too. They're adding, Hispanic elements to it, or where they're making it kind of like for people to know, what it's about, and like getting them into that little area of music too. So it's a little bit of everything. Yeah.
How would you? I mean, when I don't have too much experience or expertise in this area of music. At least not since when I was a lot younger.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Are you still young, dude?
Yeah. Well, when I say that, I mean like when I was a little kid in middle school. I really liked
last year.
I really liked
Last year.
I really like Deadmau5 and Skrillex, right?
Yeah.
And now, like hearing you talk, and I know Julie's a huge fan. I see now that there's a huge diaspora of how the music's kind of evolved. Are there any ways that you've seen personally that like the Latino culture has influenced EDM in new ways?
Yeah, I mean, in every way, not every way I would say, but I mean, it's kind of like, it's just like give or take. Everyone takes a little bit of everything. It's kind of like how I make music, or it's kind of even like back in the day with bands, even bands like the Beatles took from, like they learned from like Elvis or the Beach Boys, stuff like that, Jinx.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like everyone takes a little bit of everything to make it a little bit better. So I mean, dance music, dude, you remember like dance music back in the day was like the Hispanic music. I wouldn't say it was dance music, but it was like Magneto. That was like early dance music. You know what I mean? Like it was like, it was kind of like what 80s music in the States was to the Hispanic culture over there. So I mean, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question right.
No, yeah, but would you say it goes both ways?
Yeah, it goes both ways, 100%. Yeah, always.
How do you balance, like, when you remix like a song? How do you balance still respecting like its original essence and then making something new out of it?
That's sometimes I don't even think about it. I honestly I take a big part of the chunk of the song, and I think I'll play it, and most of the part, like, I let my ears do the judging whether it's gonna sound good or not. And then sometimes I play it for my family, and like they're very like
a test screening.
Yeah, that my family's very like more Latin than me. Even like not more Latin than me, but they're like more in tune to that.
I get you.
You know what I mean? So they'll be like, oh, that's good, or they'll be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So, but I also do have family that's always like, man, you make the same music all the time. I'm like, no, I don't, man. It sounds different. They're like, you make the same beat. And they're like, I'm like, no, but it sounds different.
Yeah, that's a criticism I always hear EDM music gets. It's like, oh, a lot of it just sounds the same. It's like Bee-Boop-Bop, Bee-Boop-Bop. But
I mean, it really is, but it's just how you pattern it and how you make it sound different. You know what I mean? It's a sound, but you could also put it in a chord or like make it a melody, stuff like just same way with like a guitar. You could strum it and it's gonna sound the same, but if you make a chord, it's gonna give you a different sound.
Yeah,
and you can make melodies with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I don't get, because people give the same criticism to reggaeton, and when you really think about it, that's an invalid criticism because a lot of genres sound the same.
Yeah,
rock songs, a lot of rock songs are the same sounding.
It's a lot of the same chords. You know what I mean? It's like G, E, whatever it is. Or like power chords, you know what I mean, with rock. Reggaeton, I would say yes and no. It is a lot of the same because it's the same BPM, a lot of it. It's almost the same drum beat. It has a little bit of different percussion, but what makes reggaeton different is the vocalist, right? The vocalist is what takes it to a different level. Like you have like a Don Omar that's like singing loud, or you have like a Elvis Crespo, you know what I mean? It just depends on you have a Bad Bunny who's like rapping over something.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on the vocalist, and I think in that way, in that aspect, it's the vocalist who makes the song and he takes it towards what would be a chord progression, and then you could add elements around it, whether it's like a small synth or something like that, and keep. Or sometimes you just hear a drum beat and you hear someone singing over it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. How long have you been in the DJing business for?
DJing business, maybe like 13 years, 14 years,
wow.
like full time. I was making music since 2099, maybe.
99?
When I was in high school, yeah. When I graduated high school, I was already like in high school bands, and we were like doing like shows at the Roxy and like Key Club when it was here in Sunset, the Knitting Factory, stuff like that. And then slowly, like the band broke up. Like we all started doing our own thing, and then I just started doing stuff by myself in my apartment. I would say I was living with my mom, but I had a big ass bedroom. I had like a drum set, a keyboard, my guitars and stuff, and I would record everything myself with like a little Tascam like that.
Oh damn!
With the old school Mac. You remember like the oval ones that were like colored?
Yeah.
I think so.
It was like
yeah.
it was, and then I was recording everything there, and then I started. That's how I started, producing and stuff. And then I just stopped making music with instruments, and I just started doing everything with the computer. And my music sounded like crappy. I was trying to like emulate. I started like emulating like Mastercraft and like Deadmau5 and stuff like that, where I was like, okay, let me try to make it more like progressive or like soft, like melodic and stuff like that. But it sounded like crap.
What was like your big break? Like what transitioned from amateur to like I guess more professional?
I would say I started making Moombahton. Like Moombahton started getting a little bit big. I remember because I was already going to Miami and like DJing stuff over there, and like playing like house music, and I was doing that stuff. And then Moombahton kind of had like a big break in the scene because Skrillex started playing it, and then Dylan Francis came and he started doing it. So then I started making Moombahton, and then a few of my songs started getting like kind of picked up by the DJs and stuff.
Oh wow.
But by that time I already kind of knew them because I was going to clubs just to. What I would do is I would send music when SoundCloud era was big. I would try to send music to everyone, and then I would go to the clubs and meet them. And I would be like, just so they could know who I was. So, because if you send music to people, and I tell this to people I meet all the time also, you can send music to somebody, and then like if they don't put a face to it, chances are they probably won't play it or they probably won't remember it. But if they remember your face, they'll be like, oh, that's the dude who sent me this song. Sounds pretty dope, and play it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way I did. I kind of networked.
Yeah, you're hustling.
Yeah, I was, and then that's where I met like AC Slater. That's where I met that's how I met Diplo. That's how I met Bro Safari, Dylan, Valentino, stuff like that. Like I met them all through like a little SoundCloud like era, and then we started doing shows in Santa Monica, stuff like that. But Moombahton is the one that kind of, because it started picking up pretty big, kind of like how dubstep got super big. Well, it was already big, but within the past couple of years, it just like fucking blew up.
So what is Moombahton?
Moombahton is like reggaeton, but it's just it's what it was is my homie Dave Nada, he was playing a party. What is his story? If I can have it correct, he was playing a ditching party for his brother, and he was playing like Afrojack. He was playing 128 BPM, like house music, like Dutch house music, and then he wanted to play it slower for them, so he just dropped it down to like a reggaeton like beat, and it was just, that's what became, he started calling it Moombahton. So it's pretty like reggaeton with electro sounds, so like Dutch feels. So that's what he started doing, and then people started doing that. They started just slowing down. Excuse me. They started slowing down music, and then calling it a remix. But a bunch of people like myself and a bunch of people at the sea, like Dylan Francis and them, we started making originals at that tempo. And then it just became a thing. And then, yes, Skrillex started making Moombahton. And then Diplo, like Express Yourself, is kind of like a twerk Moombahton track, stuff like that. And then it just became a whole, it blew up a little bit.
Yeah, that's crazy because I feel like it goes full circle because nowadays I see on TikTok there's like slowed reverb, remix of a popular song, or there's like the speed. Yeah. And they're even on Spotify too.
Well, people found a way to like put them on there without artists knowing. Like I know a bunch of DJs who like release remixes that are not actually official, and like they'll just rename it something else, and like they'll make the tune a way where it won't get caught by like the program, and they could put it there so it'll get streams and revenue. It's a good smart way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But no, yeah. So Moombahton, and then I started making trap, and then trap is kind of like what got me like Moombahton kind of got my foot in, but once I started making trap, like right when trap started popping, like Major Lazer, Bauer, all that stuff, I had like 2 songs with the homie Brills, and that kind of blew up and kind of put me on festivals and stuff like that, and I started like traveling a lot. So I kind of was doing that. Then I did a remix, a Lana Del Rey remix, like a Summertime Sadness remix,
Yeah.
that got pretty big too. And it just that BPM or that trap tempo, which was it's considered like bass almost. It's kind of like what kept me steady and gave me like legs. You know what I mean?
How do forgive me, this is kind of a dumb question, but how do remixes work? Like, do you have to go and ask them for you to remix it? Or?
No, so you could remix any song. The only thing is that if you don't have permission from them, you can't ever release it officially on a platform. You can't make money off of it. You could put it on SoundCloud. You could put it on where people will download it for free, but you're not gonna make any money off of it, which is okay because I think you want to remix as many songs as you can, so to get your name out there, right? There's times where artists, they like your sound, they like what you do, and they'll contract you to remix their song. And then that's when you get paid. They'll give you either a fee. They'll be like, okay, here's this amount, and then you'll get a certain amount of the masters or publishing or whatever it is. And then you make money off of it that way. And then it becomes official. It comes on Spotify, Apple, all the platforms for you to stream it, for people to buy it. Kind of like that way. But a remix, it could be a bootleg. You could call it a bootleg. But if an artist is a real dick, like, they'll take your shit down, even if it's for free. They'll be like, I didn't give them the rights to do it. There's a lot of time, like SoundCloud started hammering down. So does like YouTube. Like if they see, like if they could read like wavelengths, and if like there's been times where I'll do a remix. Like say for example, I'll do a Drake remix, and I'll put it on YouTube. It'll say like, oh, I don't know the rights to that because it reads like part of the song, and it'll shut it down. It's because they're not getting paid. They didn't okay it. But a lot of the times, some people, I've been lucky enough where like I've been in the scene kind of long enough, and the people that I like remixing, I know, and they'll give me an okay. Someone from their team will give me an okay, and they'll reach out to wherever I'm gonna post it, and they clear it, and then it's up there without me getting paid, but which is okay.
Do you feel like as a Latino artist that when you were entering the scene, do you feel like you were kind of welcomed within like all that? Or was it like you were sometimes getting a little backlash because of like the community?
No, not at all. I don't know how it is now because when I first started, it wasn't like that. Like it was just about music because everyone was making, it was what was dope at the time. Like whatever was dope, everyone was fucking with, you know what I mean? And it wasn't, it wasn't, I don't think it was like that. I don't think it's like that now. Or, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So you feel like it's a very welcoming.
Yeah,
community.
100%. I think music is open to everyone. And I think it's loved by everyone. I think no one's here to judge you by the type of music you make. Unless you're making some racist ass music.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that you could tell then yeah.
Yeah.
But like, no, I think everyone's been cool so far. I mean, with everyone, I don't think it's I was never like, oh, you're fucking Hispanic, you can't be in the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I am, I was born and raised in LA, and the scene here was already cooking from a little bit of everyone. So I think everyone was always like loving each other and like giving each other props, and everyone's always willing to, help each other to be at the level and stuff. So
What's it like when you DJ? Like, do you have to accommodate by whatever audience is there?
Fuck
Like,
no.
No.
No. Well, it depends. See, like a lot of the times, there was a time where people just wanted to hear Moombahton from me, and I was just like, fuck. Like, like I like playing Moombahton, but that's an hour of playing that is too much. Like, just like when I go to a dubstep show or like my friends are playing dubstep, an hour, that's too much for me. Like, I like to hear a little bit of everything. So I kind of feed off the energy now. Like, I kind of just, I have what I think I'm going to play, and then I'll vibe off of the crowd. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll play this one and test it out and see if they like it. No, I'll cut it quick. I play a different one, kind of like that. So I kind of just feed off the energy, and for the most part, like I think people who are coming to see me, they know what I'm gonna play and what I'm gonna give them. So kind of cool with it.
Yeah, how does it compare to performing? And like, do you have artists? Do you have friends who are artists who would like perform like singing or like in bands? How does it compare to when you DJ? Like, because I'm sure that's a whole performance in and of itself, right?
Yeah, so I mean, when I was in bands, there was nobody. I mean, besides my family and friends, it was like just people who would support us, you know, because we were like locals and stuff like that. When I go watch bands and stuff, it's different. I mean, yeah, it's. I guess maybe the feeling, if I were in the same position, it would be the same, maybe. But it's definitely different. Because you get a different energy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I imagine I don't know a lot about DJing, but I feel like if you DJ for about an hour,
Yeah.
like that's your whole set. It seems like it would be very tiring, right? So I wonder what's the psychology behind that. Like, are you just feeling the music?
Yeah, for the most part, time flies by like this, dude.
Really?
I played for 2 hours before. I mean, the other day, Valentino, I happened to be with Valentino at we went to Michelado Rumble, and then he had a show after at Cal State Fullerton, and he was gonna play an hour, and Quavo was supposed to play, and he didn't show up.
What?
He missed his flight. I don't know what happened. And then so I happened to have my USB with me. I mean, I always have my USB with me. It's okay, you never know when you're gonna have to drop a set somewhere. So,
he's ready.
yeah, everyone's always ready.
He's got that thing on him.
So I got
The
that
Apple
thing.
piece.
I got that thing on me. No, but yeah. So I happen to have it with me, and then they were like, "Hey, do you want to play 30 minutes?" And Valentino ended up playing for 2 hours, and it goes by like this. You know what I mean? It goes by quick. Sometimes you're like, I know there's times where you're like, fuck, like an hour, but it just depends on the energy you get. Like if it's like you're working the crowd and it's hard, like you're not getting nothing out of them, then that hour seems forever. But if you're having fun, you're having a good time, you're vibing off with what they're giving you the energy, it goes by quick. You're like, oh, that's why some DJs don't want to get off. You know what I mean?
How do you handle that when a crowd's just not giving you?
It's hard, man. Like I for the most part like have fun with it. Like I'll kind of talk shit, not talk shit, but I'm just like, I'm like, hey man, this guy's not moving. You know what I mean? Like, or like I'll have fun with it. Like I'll call him out or stuff like that. But like, hey man, what do you want to hear? Like stuff like that.
Yeah, because any reaction is better than no reaction.
Yeah. And I just like to have fun with it. You know, but for the most part, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've been overseas and stuff like that, and where I've thought like I played like Germany one time. And I was like, these fools are not gonna feel what I'm playing, and they had a good time. So you never know, man. I fucking look mad all the time. I think I was just like, damn, they're not gonna like. Because I got there and it was like a late set too. It was like 4 a.m. when I was gonna play, and I was just like, they're not gonna like it. And it was cool. They had a good time.
Oh wow, yeah. Because I was gonna ask, how's that? Like, do you have any crazy DJ stories? Like,
there's so many crazy DJ stories. No, but oh man, I mean. There's been times where like I land somewhere and I have to go straight to the venue. Crazy DJ stories, not like insane.
No one's ever been like in request after request.
Oh, all the time. There's a video I have on my Instagram where like I played here in the OC and Valentino recorded it and he made a whole video. But like this girl was like, play Bad Bunny, and then like the whole time, and I ended up playing like 2 Bad Bunny songs. And she ended up getting on stage, and then she was like, she started talking to me, and I was like, and I literally was just done finishing playing a Bad Bunny song. I was gonna play something else, and she was like, play Bad Bunny, and I was like, I just played it, and then she was like, play it again, and Valentino got it on the video. I'll send it to you guys. But it was funny. She was like, play it again. And I was like, what the hell?
I swear, that's like a common thing. Like I always hear too. It's like, it's always like a woman. It's like, I don't know if this phenomenon now. It's like play Bad Bunny. Like,
Well, it was a thing. I don't think I think it's starting to die out.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back.
Well,
But
where they were like with the phone.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Play Bad Bunny,
or like the phone thing is a thing now. Like people either tell you something or they want you to play a song. Or there was this guy at the Valentino and I were having this whole combo. There was this guy at the Galaxy game where we were doing the after party, and he was right in front of us the whole time, and he was recording us, and he was like, if James Brown is dead, and I was like, what? And then I was like, yeah, I know. And then Valentino's like, why does he keep saying that? And then he was just like, and he was just recording us. And then he's like, yeah, James Brown is dead. He kept saying it. He was there the whole set. And then I overheard him say something. He's like, have they ever played EDC? They know what James Brown is dead is. It's a song. And I think he wanted us to play it. I was like, I don't have that fucking song. But he was just like, James Brown is dead. And at the first we were like, what the hell? Like, but he was there the whole time. We're like, dude, he was right in the front of the table. I was like, okay, dude. Valentino was like, it was funny. Shout out to the dude. If I had it, I would have played it, man. I'm sorry.
I thought he was saying like he was dissing you guys. Like I thought you guys played James
like
Brown.
we played James Brown?
Yeah,
Nah,
he's dead. Like stop playing his music.
Nah, I think if I'm correct, it's a song. And it took me a minute, but I was like, I don't have that. I even told him, I was like, oh, that song, man.
When you first started, did you ever get stage fright? Like being in front of all
Yeah,
this
I mean,
crowd?
I still get nervous now. Like I get nervous. I walk around or I talk a lot. Just because like I don't know what to expect. It's always like there's always one person who's not gonna move or like who's waiting for someone to play after you. You know what I mean? Or if it's a festival, they're just there for the last person or something like that. Or so it's all and what sucks is your brain always goes to that one person, even though everyone's having a good time. You're thinking about that one person, or at least I am. I'm just like, like, how do I get that person to move? But I always get nervous. My palms get sweaty. But once I'm like 3 songs in, then I feel good. And I forget about that. Then I'm just like, whatever.
Then there's some advice for people.
Yeah.
Show more respect to the DJs. Move, dance.
Just bob your head.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've been to a lot of bars or like venues where a DJ's playing music and like people aren't fucking with it. And I've never thought about like the other side of that. I was like, oh, the DJ's probably like, fuck, man.
No. For the most part, like DJs want. I mean, see, here's the thing too. Like, I DJ on USBs. So if someone asked me to play a song, if I had a laptop, I was just DJing off a laptop, I'll probably have the song, and I could play it. It's easier to play it when you have a laptop. But if I'm on USBs, you pretty much have what you're gonna play. Your set, your festival set, your club set, what your go-tos, you know what I mean? So like if someone hits you with like a left field, like someone like play Creed, I don't have it on my USB. I have it on my laptop though. You know what I mean? Like play some Bon Jovi, I have it on my laptop. Stuff like that. That's why there's still a lot of people who like club DJs who use Serato and laptops, stuff like that, because they're able to play a lot more music than us, like producers or festival DJs who like just have it on our USB.
So is it always kind of like a finite amount of stuff you had? I don't know what I thought. I don't know, when somebody requests, you just pull it off the internet. Or have to have it like ready to go.
Yeah. Well, if you have it on your USB, because like it's already in your little thing, in your drive, and but if you have it on a laptop, if you're connected to something, you could download it, play it right there.
Oh, wow.
But no, if someone requests something from me, if I have it, they'll be like, hey, play fucking, Mana. I'm like, oh, I have one Mana edit that I could play, you know what I mean, and I'll play it. But if I have my laptop or like something that I produce on, like I have all that shit, you know what I mean? So it just depends. But I was never a laptop DJ. Like normally, I was a laptop DJ in the beginning, but I did it for like 1 or 2 years, and then I started using USB since, and I never went back.
And you play for now like sports venues, right? Like you said, LA Galaxy.
No, so I made friends with Mike from the Galaxy because I DJ'd like a private party for some Dodger peeps, and that's where I met Mike. He had a Galaxy hat on. I was like, I love the Galaxy, and then he was like, I was like, I go to games all the time because I used to have season tickets for a long time at the Galaxy. And then once I started DJing, I had to stop the season tickets, and like I just started traveling. I didn't have time to go, but now like I would go every now and then. And what was I gonna say? I know Jeremy, and he would give me some tickets sometimes too at the game, and I would go with Valentino all the time. And then I told Mike, and Mike was like, "Oh, let's get you to DJ," and I was like, "Sick." So he got me. I DJed 2 after parties, and then this year they asked me to do the halftime. They asked me to do the pregame, halftime, and then the after party. The after party was 2 hours. So that was a long set. But the good thing was that it was Valentino and I, so we were just going back and forth and we're having a good time. But yeah, no, I still play I play clubs and venues and like if a festival has me, I'll play a festival and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Do you prefer one over the other?
I like playing clubs. I like playing smaller shows, like intimate shows, because it gets hot. People are having a good time. They're dancing. Bigger shows, it's hard to tell because when I was playing the stadium, I loved it. It was amazing, but I couldn't hear like if people were having a good time or not. Like I would get on the mic, and because you're so far away,
Yeah.
you can't. You're like, hey, is everyone having a good time? And you can't hear nothing. So it's just like, oh god, they having a good time? Like I don't know. But then like you see them dancing, you're like, okay, they are. It's just, it's a you couldn't.
It's a far distance.
Yeah, it's a far distance.
Yeah.
But at the halftime, when it was full, like I could hear everyone. Like I was
Mm.
like, hey, and it was like, so it was cool.
Is that the biggest venue you've ever
Yeah.
played in?
For
Really?
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I played Ultra before. I've done Coachella, but that was like, I think it was like 27,000 people in that stadium. 23, 24 maybe. It's over 20,000 people in that stadium. It was a lot of people.
Mhm.
That was my first stadium, yeah.
But what's like your most personal, like memorable moment that you've had so far in your journey?
My journey,
Yeah.
let's see. Having my kids come to watch me at a show was cool. Well, they watched me at the stadium, and then during COVID times, I played like a park and rave, and then they came out with me. That was cool, just having them watch me DJ, because for the most part, they know I leave. So that was awesome. Playing, I think playing stuff that I grew up watching, like Ultra, like playing Ultra was kind of like a bucket list thing. Playing Coachella was kind of a bucket, even though it wasn't like a big stage. It was like the Heineken tent. It was still dope. That was like a big moment. What else? There's been a few festivals that I played where I was like, all right, cool. Like, if this were to be gone, I'd be cool with it. Like, I did most of the stuff. I mean, the stadium was something I've always wanted to do because I'm a big soccer fan. I'm a Galaxy fan since I was like 11. And it was overwhelming. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could do like the fuck it. My main goal is to do the Rose Bowl at the game, but I don't think they'll let me do that one.
You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think about like, at least for me, I think about like my heritage a lot. Like I think about like my family and like just growing up, I never felt like I could dream so big and they could come true.
Yeah.
So I imagine for you, it also probably feels very similar. And I guess this is like a setup to a question of like, how important is it to you, your heritage, and how do you choose to represent that?
Well, I mean, it's important to me, man. I'm the oldest of my entire family. Like out of my mom had 6 kids. I'm the oldest of the 6. And my mom's family, like, I don't know why I keep burping. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No
worries.
Out of my grandma's kids, my mom's the youngest, but I'm the oldest. She's the first one who had the kid. I didn't graduate college. High school was like the highest thing I did. I started working right after. So I mean, it's because that's what I knew I had to do, right? Like growing up is like you need to get a job. Like when I was in high school, my mom had me work. Well, my mom didn't have me working. My stepdad was like, you need to pay rent, kind of shit.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh fuck. So I was paying rent like when I was a senior in high school. I paid like $600 for like a small bedroom. So that's what I knew I had to do. Like I had to provide or support myself and stuff like that. I mean, even though it kind of sucks, but it kind of taught me like to be on top of stuff. So yeah, that's what I knew I needed to do. I didn't think this would become a thing, but I love that my family's like, oh, that fool's doing it. You know what I mean? At least they're kind of proud of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm working hard, even though it's not like something I'm sure they didn't think of. I'm still kind of working hard.
Yeah, it's for sure
Yeah.
like not something that I think is the traditional career path, especially
Yeah.
for like Latinos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think even for a lot of people who want that dream, the same position that you do, like just your existence is very inspiring to them.
Yeah, I mean, my grandma loves me to death. My family does. Everyone in my family, like my nephew, like my cousins, sorry, they all talk crap about me because they're like, "Oh, you're the favorite." I was like, "Yeah, I'm the first. Of course, they're gonna love me." But yeah, no, they're all super proud of me. I think what I like about it too is that I play that kind of music that they like too. So it's easy if they want to come to a show, they could come to a show and they'll have a good time. It's not like I'm just playing like random like fucking deep sounds where they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's cool. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if I was in a band, but not really.
Yeah. I also think it's kind of like you're giving them like accessibility to something that didn't like accommodate them beforehand. Like, because I think you don't, for a lot of people in my family who would want to enjoy something like a concert venue or like a festival or something, if it's not music that they first of all can understand because of the language barrier, then they're not going to have as good of a time as somebody else. And it's very discouraging and it makes you not want to even go.
Yeah.
But I think that because you use Spanish songs or Latino, you know, inspired music, you open that doorway to a lot of people who can now be included in the fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. What is your cultural background?
Mexican.
Mexican, just straight up Mexican.
De Culiacán, Sinaloa, fool.
Oh, okay. He's repping his set. I see
Like,
that.
get it right.
I see that.
I get it tight. That's like where my mom and my grandma and my family's from. So yeah.
Oh yeah, so you're first generation?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure not going to college, especially around the 90s, it must have been extremely discouraging. Because at least now, and this is such like a dumb way that kids think, but I can't lie. They're like kids now. At least if they drop out of college, they'll be like, "I'll just become an influencer," and I'll just make videos, YouTube videos. Obviously, at the time, that doesn't even exist yet.
Dude, I was at the time where like we had no phones.
Yeah.
So we had pagers or like beepers, and then we had the sidekicks, and then we had like the two ways, and we had phones. And I think I got my phone when I was in. I'm not that old, by the way, but when I was in like maybe a freshman, junior, I got my phone. I saw the same phone number too.
What year was that?
Fuck it, like 90, 98, 99?
98? Damn.
No, maybe 99, I would say, because I graduated 2001.
Yeah, that is crazy.
99, yeah.
I was born in 99.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
98. 98. I was 98. But it's crazy because like, in your lifetime, you saw like technology explode.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Like, I mean, your industry, like what you work in, you make electronic music.
Yeah.
So like that's insane
funny.
in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when we're speaking earlier, you're like, what do you think about like you know, the chat stuff? And
yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's going to happen either way. Like,
Yeah.
I saw everything like
Yeah.
so far. But it's crazy because I don't know who I was talking to. It's like we live in a generation where we kind of, or at least I did, we went through everything. And after that, they're not going to have something like that. You know what I mean? We're like, they had nothing. I remember having like little internet to like having all the internet. You know what I mean? Like I would connect dial-up and it was like, like it was crazy the way we had to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
Like when we used the internet back in the day, like no one could use the phone because it would fucking boot you off.
Yeah.
Shit like that. So
Well, I wonder like what the psychology does to like kids, because like at least for phones and internet, it gives that perception that you're always being watched, or at least in the good way that like help is always on the other side, right? You can just text Google Maps, you know, like something's around. But at least when you grew up, like there wasn't that.
Yeah, you know what's funny is my wife sent me a meme yesterday, or like a video, and it was like when my daughter says, "Mom, pick me up from school right now," like what she thinks we're doing, and it's a car going like, like going like that. It's like, dude, that did not happen for me, dude. I was lucky if I even got picked up.
Yeah.
But no, everything's I mean, and also I feel like I would want my kids to have all that right now, just because like the world's crazy right now. So it's just like as long as they for emergencies or anything for them to reach out.
I find that really interesting. You have a very mature, accepting like spirit about like technology, because I think some people who are older, I always get that like, oh, technology is bad and like AI is bad.
Well, I did grow up like, when I was like, my mom would be like, you don't watch too much TV, like, rot your brain. Probably rotted my brain. but you know, it's just, we didn't know much about it at the time, I guess, or not TV, but like technology and stuff. So we know a little bit more about it. So, but I'm open to a lot of stuff too. So I'm not very like closed-minded, I would say.
Do you try to pass down like your culture to your kids?
I try, man, but my kids are like white as hell, which is okay. Oh, I keep knocking that down.
No, it's okay.
Not white as hell, but they're just like they come to they'll come to family parties and stuff like that. My daughter loves dancing to like cumbias and music. You know what I mean? So they're getting a little bit of everything. I try to talk Spanish to them, but I try. They get a lot of love from my family, from my side of the family too. So they know what's up. They're a guerrero, so they know. They're gonna get that pressure put on them.
So are your kids? No, they're not fluent in Spanish, but do you care that they learn
No,
Spanish?
they're not fluent Spanish, mainly because in the house we just speak English. I tried too late too, like to try to teach them Spanish, but they understand. Like if I talk to them in Spanish, they'll figure it out. My wife speaks mainly English, and but she's Hispanic also, but she speaks mainly English because her dad didn't teach her. Like she was kind of like I am with my kids, like didn't put the hard hat on. But they kind of understand. Like my wife understands when I'm like, hey, like no hagas eso or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's very rare. Like I only speak Spanish when I'm trying to say something funny or like when I'm getting mad or something.
Yeah.
And I do that with the kids too, so they understand like the gist. But no, it's not hard for them. We were worried that like when they went to school, they were gonna maybe get picked on because they didn't know Spanish or English. But my daughter is she's trying to learn other languages right now, like German and stuff like that with school. So
You should be like, learn Spanish.
it should be easy for her. But it's crazy because my sister who's after me, her kids, they all know Spanish, but it's because her husband and her, they speak Spanish all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So their kids are used to both.
Yeah, yeah, because it's changed for me. Because I mean, obviously, I'm a first gen too, so I know Spanish, but it's not like as fluent as like somebody who's from Mexico would speak. But as I got older, I think like I realized like, oh, I should probably like whenever I do have kids, I should teach them Spanish, just because like my mom only speaks Spanish, and then I have like a lot of other family members who speak Spanish. So it would make sense that they like I should teach them so they can communicate with the rest of their families.
Yeah.
But it is.
It's. I mean, it's hard. Like the good thing about my family is they try to. They talk to them. My family's loving. They're like, hey, like they'll talk to them in English and Spanish and stuff like that. No, I should have done that. I was also traveling a lot because my daughter was still a baby and my son was a newborn when I was like DJing and stuff like that. So I wasn't at home as much as I am now. So it was a little bit harder, but I should have put the foot down on that, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I was just like,
Are your kids interested in exploring music? Or?
My son, for a little bit, he was like, my daughter, she took guitar lessons, so she knows how to play guitar. My son, we got him a little drum set, so for a while, he was playing drums, which was pretty cool. But now he's just, all he does is game now, man. And my daughter likes to draw. So she's like very artistic. So at least they keep their mind on something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I was gonna say you guys could have like a family like band.
Yeah,
and then
that would have been cool. Well, I tried, man. Like there was
really?
there's times where I'm like let's jam because I'll bust out my guitar and then but they get weirded out. They're like at the age right now because my daughter's about to be 14 next week. And they're at the age where like anything I do is embarrassing. They're like, "Stop, Dad." I'm like, "Come on, man."
How do they feel about you being a DJ though?
I think it's cool. Yeah, I mean, I think they think it's cool. I don't know. I'm like some of their Olive's friends. Some at one point they found out who I was, and they were like, "Oh, that's your dad," or stuff like that. So, but I don't think I think I'm just dad to them. I don't think they're like, "Oh, you know."
They don't fully
until
process.
like. I introduced them to someone they like, they'll probably be like, "Oh, that's cool." You know what I mean? So yeah. Which I'm working on something for, hopefully, maybe soon. We'll see.
Can we know? Can we get an exclusive?
Yeah, well, they're really into K-pop right now.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, they like this group called Stray Kids, and I know somebody that kind of knows, like, they're in the same kind of like management area, and they're gonna be touring soon. So I'm trying to work something out. I don't know if it's gonna work because the K-pop people are pretty like they're just like elusive. So we'll see. I'm gonna try.
Have you met a lot of celebrities working your job?
I met a lot of people. Yeah. Who have I met? I have, but I can't. At the top of my head, I can't think. Like, I mean, I met people. I think the people that I remember are people that I've wanted to meet. Like, I met people in bands. Like, I met Chino from the Deftones.
Oh, wow.
I met the guys from the Mars Volta, stuff like that. To me, those guys are celebrities.
Yeah.
Who have I met? Maybe like, one time I played a festival and what was that guy's name?
He must be so famous.
The guy from Friday, the one that has a crooked eye. He was there, and I met that guy, and he was pretty cool.
Oh, the really big dude.
Yeah. I think he passed.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P. But he was like doing something for the festival. He was like promoting. I think Monster Energy Drink was promoting it, and he was riding around on a monster bike or something.
Oh wow.
So I took a picture with him. I met him. He was pretty cool. Oh, I met Terry Crews one time. He was
Oh
cool too.
wow.
I met him at the Mad Decent block party. He dressed up as Major Lazer, like he had the whole outfit. So I met him. He was cool. Yeah, there's here and there. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I remember,
I
I remember.
I was really interested, I guess, to see like what is that side of your career like look like.
I mean, that's cool, man. Like getting like little perks like that is awesome. You
Yeah,
know what I
right.
mean? And I mean, I still get like overwhelmed and starstruck when that shit happens too. You know what I mean? Because it's something I didn't think would ever happen. You know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
And what's next for your career?
For my career, I mean, dude, eventually I'm gonna end up stop DJing. Like, I don't think I could go on for. I don't want to be like, no disrespect, but I don't want to be like Carl Cox doing DJing forever. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
Context was who?
Like,
Carl
he's
Cox?
like an old school DJ. He's probably like 60 or 70. Like,
Oh, wow.
but he's still fucking doing it.
Yeah.
But like, I want to be able to like, I still want to be able to travel. And my main goal is, which was always my main goal, DJing right now. I'm blessed to be DJing. Like, you know what I mean? But my main goal was always to sit down and write music. And that's where where I'm in my element. Like, I'm in the studio, I have my laptop on or my computer, and I'm working on music, whether it's an instrument or writing, making stuff on the computer, making beats, making melodies, whatever it is. As long as I could write, that's where I'm in my happy place. Having a DJ happened because there was a demand for me. They were like, oh, these people want to see you because they like the song. So I had to learn how to DJ. I didn't know how to DJ before that. So I'm thankful I'm DJing and I'm traveling and I'm doing all this stuff. And of course I want to continue doing this for as long as I can. But eventually, like, I want to be like in the studio guy and like write music for people and be able to give other people their shine and be a part of someone's other project and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
Whether it's a Hispanic artist or a pop artist or German artist or a band, you know what I mean? I think like that's where my skills are mostly set, just writing music and stuff like that.
Well, it's crazy that like life took you in a certain pathway that you didn't initially envision.
I never thought that music would take me this far, to be honest. Like it, and I'm grateful every day. You know,
Any
if I
regrets?
could making beats, no regrets.
No regrets.
No regret. I mean, no. I mean, not teaching my kid, not teaching my kids Spanish, maybe. But no regrets. No regrets at all, man. When I
That's funny.
no regrets.
Any advice though for anybody who wants to be in your position?
Yeah, man. Always be open to criticism. That's one. Like, don't be closed-minded. Just because someone doesn't like it doesn't mean that it's not good or that you should give up on it. They're just giving you their opinion, and maybe be open to it. Be like, okay, maybe they are right. I know a lot of people who get mad when someone doesn't like their shit, and they're like, I don't know what he's talking about, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be open to that, and also it's because, and they're not saying it to put you down. They're just they're saying like, hey man, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you want to take a look back at it.
Maybe
again.
it does suck. Okay, that's what I think about. Like, I'm sorry, I just think about like sometimes like I think when I get criticism on like, just growing up, like on stuff that I was working on creatively.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes the criticism would be that it sucks. And it is so easy to be like offensive and be like, no, you just don't see the vision.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes that shit just sucks, and
Yeah.
and the only way to get better is to just acknowledge that it sucks and see what you can do better.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes, like, growing up Hispanic, they're just haters, man. Like,
Bro, real.
bro,
Yeah.
like, they'll just be like, fool, why you playing soccer, dude? You're slow, or like, you're too fat. And I'm like, come on, man. And I remember I was breakdancing, but like, oh, you're too big to breakdance. And I'll be like, come on, man. Like, pop lock.
Yeah.
So it's just always, but like,
That's true.
always be open to constructive criticism. I would say network is important. Like, always, like, go out, be friendly. It's always, like I said, it's always better when someone puts a face to who they're talking to. That way they know, like, if you're gonna see it, if you ever see them again, they're gonna be like, oh, what's up, dog? You know what I mean? It's always that's how the way I remember people too. You know what I mean? And just, you know, if you're gonna put your 100% into it, put your 100% into it. The other thing is, don't force it. Eventually everything organically comes together. I feel like the more you want something, like there's some people who are like, I don't understand. Like I'm making music and I'm not playing this festival or like this and this and that. And it's like, hey man, like the more you want it, the more it's gonna go away from you. Like the more you're not gonna reach it because you're like not missing the point. You gotta let it happen organically. And that's when most of it always happens. Like the people are gonna speak their mind and whether they're gonna want you or not. So like just keep grinding. Don't even worry about that. You should just be focused. Keep making the next song, or working on the next hit, or however you're building your base, your project around, whether it's doing it online through videos. I know a lot of people who got popular like DJing without having music, just by DJing on fucking Instagram. Just crazy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just like them recording themselves like on their balcony. And people were like, these fools are sick, and they started booking them. You know what I mean? So it's and they don't even have any music, which is crazy. But I mean, it's on talent alone. You know what I mean? And people like what they like. So just keep working hard, and you know, keep your head down and focus, and then everything else organically will fall in its place like a puzzle, man. I would say.
Yeah, and fuck your Mexican family who makes fun of you,
Dude,
for any reason.
that was fucking my family.
Biggest bullies, bro.
They are, dude. And you know what's crazy is that I turn out the same way, dude. Like I do that too. I talk so much crap about like not crap, but it's all loving crap. I'm just like,
It's all love.
It's all love. It's not like super serious.
It's all love. It's just funny though, because it's so true. Like, it's like it's only until you succeed that they're like. I mean, I guess like even when you even when you succeed, they're like. I mean,
they're like, this fool thinks he's too good to come around and shit. It's like I always come around. What do you mean? Stuff like that. You know what
now
I mean?
he's acting different.
I know all of a sudden. Let me find out. No, but yeah, no. The Hispanics are always talking crap like this fool fucking molacho over there, like just talking crap about you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think it's like an older generation thing.
Yeah, 100% it is. Because I
Yeah.
remember like growing up, like we all had nicknames to like what we look like. like my brother, like his head's a little bit bigger than everyone's, and they would just be like, cabezón. Like they just call him cabezón. It's just like, come on, man. Like nowadays, it's just like that's what we grew up with. So
Yeah.
we just call him.
It's out of love.
It's out of love. It's the cariño. It's the cariño.
Yeah. That's that Mexican love right there.
Yeah.
If you don't feel a little shitty, then it's not
I
real
know,
love.
dude. It's
You
not
don't
real
feel a
love.
little shitty.
It's the criticism. It's
Yeah.
constructive
Yeah,
criticism.
that's
There you go.
back to constructive criticism.
Yeah, it's like, why is your head that big? I see it sometimes.
Do something about
Do
it.
Do something about it.
Make it smaller.
Build your body to like into it, fit into it.
That's
But,
funny.
Yeah, but thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me
though.
on, guys. This was
and
fun,
it was
yeah.
a really good show.
Hopefully
Yeah,
it came out good.
yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
it was
It did. Yeah,
It was really interesting.
yeah. I really enjoyed hearing because I don't know a lot about EDM.
Me either, man. I'm still learning.
But like it's really inspiring because I think the specifically the words and the verbiage that you use to describe the genre, I think inspires me to like think of music as even beyond artistic value. There's this like logical value
Yeah.
that I think it does for people because you're talking about like the beats per minute,
Yeah.
and I think that's like so like I'm kind of like a science nerd,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
like. For me, like I wonder what that does to the human psychology, and as specifically because it's blowing up now more than ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I wonder where that's coming from because like it's even in the young generation
Yeah.
and in the older generation.
Yeah.
So I heard this thing about how for a long time the main music in America was rock. Like there was like different versions of rock. There was like sub versions of genres of the rock, but in recent memory, it's starting to come down, and the main genre is starting to become electronic music.
Electronic music. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, dude.
And it mind blows me because it's like I never thought that music would be the one that all of a sudden just blew up so big. Because when I was a kid, all I heard was Skrillex and like Deadmau5, and dubstep was like really popular. But now, like more than ever, I hear. You know what's crazy? The explosion of raves. There's so many people that I know who go to raves.
There's so many. Yeah. There's like and Insomniac has them all.
Yeah.
They're
Which is
a
even
monopoly.
crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what does that mean? What do you mean?
That's
Insomniac?
like
Insomniac is a promoter, so they're the ones who throw EDC.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're like
Oh.
they do like Beyond Wonderland. They do Nocturnal. So like most of they do hard. I think
Escape,
hard. Yeah, like all that stuff. Live Nation does hard maybe. No, hard is also Insomniac. So like Hard Summer and stuff like that. So they fucking
They have like a monopoly.
now they
They
started
run-
buying them
yeah.
out. Yeah, they started buying
Oh,
them out.
wow.
So
Oh, that's crazy.
they're just
you know?
everywhere now. So So every other month, there's kind of like something going on, which
Yeah.
is cool. Yeah,
You've DJ'd at raves?
yeah. I DJ'd a bunch of those spots. I DJ'd raves, man, when they were like raves, like in the middle of the night raves, like in a warehouse where it smelled like PCP when you walk in there, dude.
I've heard that LA has supposedly like a bunch of secret, literally underground raves.
Oh, I don't
Nice.
know about the underground ones. I know about like warehouse raves, like in downtown LA, like areas like that where like you might want to take an Uber because you don't know if your car is gonna get jacked.
Yeah, I've seen it on TikTok. I've seen it on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I wonder what the explosion of raves has become too. I wonder if people are like just sad about the world, so they like purge.
Yeah.
They purge all their
They
like
purge.
yeah,
They
they
purge.
purge
Like
like all their shit
energy.
out. Because
Yeah.
I mean, has raves like has there been an evolution since when you started as to now?
Yeah, I mean raves were they're become more I'm gonna say like more not structured, like safe and like
Oh.
like before they were like lawless. Like you could throw you could throw a rave anywhere, and once the ghetto bird came or like fucking
Mhm.
or the cop showed up, it was over. But now like it's okay to do it if it's like in some like if it's like a concert almost. Like the raves now are not like a rave, it's like a concert. I would
I
say
get
more
what you
so.
mean. It's like cleaned up.
Yeah,
kinda.
it's a cleanup. Like it's more organized. It's
less fun.
No, I mean it's still fun. It's still fun. I would say, but it's not like back in the days where you're just like where fucking my where it
Wild
looks like
West.
where it looks like you're walking into that Blade scene in that movie where
Yeah.
it's like a rave. Like everyone's wearing all black. It's like techno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know what? I haven't seen. I don't know if they maybe because I don't live with my family anymore. When like growing up, all my tias and everyone they always went to the fucking baile on the weekend.
Mhm.
Does that shit still happen?
I think
Baile?
so.
I think
Oh.
Picolandia is the most I can think of. Picolandia
I think
is
they
like
still happen, but they're like here and there.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like every weekend there was a baile. Like my tia's like, vamos a ir al baile. I'm like, what do you guys do? They're like, bailamos, and I'm like,
They're getting
I
down.
that's our. I guess that's their rave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
basically.
Yeah,
That's their rave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had bandas and stuff. So
yeah. Because I mean, everybody's always like, go to raves, roll, do it. I don't know, do
Do LSD. No, shit.
do
Molly,
LSD,
yeah.
Molly, all that stuff. Like that's crazy. Do you see like people like on it?
yeah, for sure, 100%. You could tell who's on drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like when we're there, we're like not around the. We have our own little area.
I
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless like we want to walk around, we want to be brave and walk around. And, you know, it's kind of like sometimes it's like zombies, bro. It's
Yeah.
like 24 hours later, they're like,
Like-
"Rah."
like how Gesture goes around and interviews.
That's
people.
cool. He does it a good way too. Like he
They're
has
funny.
yeah,
They're
super
funny.
funny.
It was.
The way he
there's-
cuts it and everything is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
There's
Like,
there's
context.
an artist.
Yeah.
His name is Gesture, and he goes to like festivals and he interviews people.
He interviews
and-
people really
And
quick.
he'll be like, "I'll give you $1
Yeah.
if you can name me all the artists that start with J's." And
yeah,
like,
and
or-
people are like they're like either drunk or they're like in a hurry or like they don't
Yeah.
want to. They're like,
and they don't recognize him
Yeah.
either. So they're like,
and the DJ or they don't even know like
and he starts with a J
Yeah.
too.
or like or he'll ask them the most easiest questions
Yeah.
and either they're fucked up and then they're just like put on the spot and they're like
I get you.
It's kind of like Billy on the Street. Have you ever seen that show where it was like that one guy
Yeah.
running around asking people questions? Kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
But
mix
they're
of both
funny.
too, though.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything bad. Like I don't judge people for doing like substances at the festivals. They're just trying to have fun. You know?
everyone,
Yeah.
to each his own. As long as everyone's having fun. I mean, there's people just getting drunk. There's
Yeah.
people there who don't even do anything. They're just there to have a good time.
Damn,
You know what
that's
I mean?
surprising to me.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of crazy.
There's some people, I don't know how they do it. There's people who are at EDC who stay up till like 4 a.m. I think Valentino invited me and he was like, I play Sunday at 4:30. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
I was there.
Oh, I was like,
yeah.
I was there.
I was like, I can't, bro. Like, I got to take my kids to school on Monday. I was like, I would have to fly and then fly back. I probably would have done it too.
I always feel like I always see you guys together, and I low key was expecting you to come out. I was like,
I
is
wa-
he gonna come out?
He invited me, and I was like, oh man, like I gotta see. And then he was like, yeah, I play at 4:30. I was like, oh, bro, like
Yeah, he was.
I was like, oh. If it was like a Friday, yeah, like if I
Yeah, I
could have
get
flown
you.
in, flown back out, like
Yeah.
quick. But I was like, damn,
Well, he was the closer basically for one of the
he was a
stages.
sun, he was a sunrise
He was-
set.
yeah,
Like,
he was a sunrise set.
That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. The sun is setting.
Yeah,
Is
the
rising.
sun
Well,
Right.
because it was dark when he started, and by the time it ended,
It was
the
Monday
sun
morning
was
when
out.
he finished, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
dude,
Monday
it was
morning when he
brutal.
finished. Yeah.
I just think
Brutal,
that's so funny. Like your homies, like, don't worry, bro. Just show it to my set. It's nothing crazy. It's like 2:30 in the morning. I was like, not bad.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean,
It was 4
I do a lot for that fool, but that one was crazy. That was in Vegas too. No, but yeah, we see. He used to live not down the street, but he lived around the same area as I did before he moved. So we're like homies for a long time. Like when I first started making music, I first started making music in the scene. He was making music too. He was making music for rappers before, like rapping beats, and then he got into the EDM scene. And then we kind of both got into the scene together. So he's been one of my closest homies in the scene since almost like 12, 13 years. So that's why we're always together.
Damn.
He's an honorary Mexican.
Wait, why?
He's
What
a
is
fool.
he? What, he's a fool. Fool
He's a
certified.
fool.
We wanna find out what he is though.
He's like Persian, like somewhere.
There you go.
Everybody always asks
Yeah.
the question.
They always ask, like, they always think because his name's Valentino Khan, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's his real name. Like
Oh,
his name's
wow.
Valentino Khan.
But everybody's like, what ethnicity
Yeah.
is he?
But he could be Hispanic.
Oh,
He could be Hispanic.
Oh, he's one. Okay.
Yeah.
He's
He used to have like a suit.
Yeah.
He used
he's
to have like
Hispanic
he used to
passing.
have like
The beard.
the tapatio,
Oh,
yeah, the
like the mustache.
mustache.
the
Yeah.
mustache and
Oh.
everything.
He shaved it on stage.
Yeah,
no?
he shaved it on stage. Now he rocks the beard. I was like, come on, dog.
He shaved it on stage. That's
At
crazy.
EDC, he shaved it. He had the mustache for years, like the handlebar.
So EDC is like the Super Bowl of like electronic.
It's one of the
dance
biggest
music.
ones. Is that one in Tomorrowland? And Tomorrowland's in Belgium.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I want to go to that one.
That one's dope.
Belgium.
That one looks
You been
crazy.
Yeah, I've been to Belgium.
What difference is it between that and E EDC?
That Tomorrowland is more. I also played the Tomorrow World when it was in Atlanta. When they used to do the ones in Atlanta, they did like a little side one. It's just that one. The ones over there in Europe are more house based
Yeah.
than like here. It's like a little bit open format.
Uh-huh.
Like you'll get like hard style, you'll get dubstep, you'll get house, you get electro, you get French music. You know, you get a little bit of everything over here because they have different stages. Over there, it's for they have different stages for the most part. Like what lives there and what they thrive is like house, like fucking Hardwell and like, you know what I mean, like stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
So they go crazy.
like super house, like just 128 BPM was like big like Swedish House Mafia style,
Yeah.
like
That's
a Lesso
crazy.
stuff.
It sounds like Europe is it's really big in Europe.
Yeah, it's always been big in Europe. Europe is like kind of where it's always been. You know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
it made its way over
It
here. and
kind of
everything.
yeah.
Is it a huge difference, like the crowds, like if you play here versus over there?
Yeah, I would say so. 100%. Over there, it's just like you could tell. Like, how do I say this without sounding weird? No, it's not bad. Over there, you could tell it's like about the music. They're just like fucking living it up. Over here, it's like it's a little bit of everything. Like everyone wants to rage. They either want to mosh pit. They want to fucking do crazy shit. Over here, and want to have fun, like lay loose from the weekend, whatever it is. Over there, you could tell it's like they're feeling it. They're just having a good time. They're vibing out. And they're just like where they're. There's a lot of times where they're just all sitting down listening to the music, kind of like, you know, it's. I would say EDC and Tomorrow World are like what Woodstock was for rock. It was like where everyone was just fucking vibing out and shit.
I get you.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. As someone who's never been to any rave or electronic music festival, what would you say to encourage me to go?
If you're gonna go to a festival,
I guess both a rave and a festival.
well, a rave would be considered a festival, right? I would
Yeah.
say,
Oh, really?
yeah, because yeah,
Sometimes I feel like I say raves are like if you're gonna see like one artist or something.
oh, but that's a show. If
That's
you're
a
gonna go to
show,
a
yeah.
club,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I mean, I guess it
But that's the
depends.
same thing.
I guess yeah, it depends. I don't know, man. It just, if you want to go some places cool, like I would say go to Countdown. That one always is pretty dope. They always have good artists, which is on New Year's Eve. But if you're very family oriented, you probably want to stay home and not be over. I played Countdown where
That's
like
the hard one. Yeah.
yeah, I played Countdown where I'm like I play my show and I'm like I gotta get home for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And I'm like on the road. There's been times like I got stuck in traffic and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta call my wife. Like, Happy New Year's." I'm driving back. I would say Countdown. EDC is a good one. It's just the only thing with EDC is that the strip is so far from where you're at. Sometimes it takes a while for you to get there. It's just stressful.
I get you.
But like the mini ones here are good. Like Nocturnal, Beyond, even Hard Summer. Those are pretty dope.
I've heard of Hard Summer
Hard
too.
Summer,
Yeah.
those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hard
Ult-
Summer's cool.
Ultra is a good one if you want to go to Miami. That was pretty dope.
I mean, maybe, yeah. Because, I mean, I think about how, like, you just said Woodstock, and Woodstock was such, like, a cultural phenomenon that a lot of people were, like, when it was, like, in its heyday, like, I loved it. It was such a big thing. And I feel like right now that's raves and, like, electronic music. And so I want to go before it passes me by. And I'm like, oh,
Like I never went to.
yeah, I never
Yeah.
went. I
Yeah.
never went. But now I want to because, I mean, it sounds really cool. I'm telling you, the way you talk about it makes me very
You'll
encouraged.
find a little bit of everything nowadays. Like especially here in the States, you'll find something you like. You know what I mean? I mean, most of the artists now, they do like even a dubstep artist will play a Latin song. You know what I mean, or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So like, or a lot of the people, like a lot of the dubstep acts too now are playing like real instruments too, like guitars and shit like that. So it sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's just you'll find something you'll like.
Yeah.
There's also like small little random stages here and there. Like, you'll be walking somewhere and there's a full DJing right there. Like
That's probably where I'll
gremlin-
be at.
A little
Yeah.
gremlin right there DJing.
Well, because even for EDC, like even in the parking lot, there's somebody DJing in the parking lot.
What?
Yeah.
As
There's
always.
There's a guy that's like pulling out all his like stuff, all his like what do you call them? Like his
Gear equipment.
his gear and all that, and
Yeah.
like he'll just be DJing like right there.
Is there one in the bathroom too? Like, there's a
It could be.
There could be.
It could be.
There hasn't
He's
been
like,
one
do you
yet.
want one? Do you want one?
No, yeah, it's cool. It's honestly just really cool. I feel
Yeah.
like if you're really into like music, and there is always different genres. Like I always think about, especially like Keizo. He plays a lot of like rock and like
that's what I'm
hardstyle.
saying. Yeah.
And
I love rock.
this year he had
had his
at
band,
his
right?
stage. Yeah, he had his band. He had a drummer and a
Wow.
guitarist there,
Yeah.
and like he was DJing at the same time as they were playing. So like you can legit find anybody in like a different, and like the scene is also like a lot of the DJs were all used to be like pop rock, and then they just became DJs when they
Yeah,
like,
a lot
kinda
of the
broke
people
up.
like when their bands broke up, they just became DJs.
Yeah.
Or a lot of DJs, a lot of the people who are in bands, like their side hustle is a DJ. You know what I mean? Like they'll be like, oh, we got this person from, like I know like Jamie from XX, he DJs, he does random. Like I remember one of the guys from Interpol was a DJ for a while here in
wow.
LA. That dude, the bassist Carlos, I think his name was. I'm
Mhm.
not sure. But he's a DJ for a while. You know, so people DJ.
I mean, Shaq, bro. He's
fucking
a-
Shaq.
Oh,
Bro.
yeah.
I met Shaq too. I played before him at one time at Tomorrow World. Yeah. I took a picture with him and I was like, fuck.
He's
It was
huge.
humongous, dude.
Yeah, I saw there's another guy, Cody Code, right? He's
Yeah,
also
Cody
the
becoming
Fullerton one.
Yeah. He DJed before me.
Oh,
He
yeah.
did it before me.
Oh, yeah, that's where we went to college. That's where we went
Oh.
to college. When you mentioned that, we were
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh
Ah.
shit.
Yeah.
That's where we went to college. Yeah.
That's cool. The
I-
people were not happy to see me. I'll tell you that.
What?
Well, no, because they were expecting Quavo. But see, the other thing too was that Valentino had to tell him like that he did it. Well, first of all, I was like, hey, Valentino. Well, I don't say they weren't happy to see me. They were just like, what the fuck? Because they're expecting Cody Co, Valentino, and then Quavo. So Cody Co played, and then I show up, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play for 30 minutes. Is it cool? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, it's cool. But anyways, I played 30 minutes, and I was just going through songs like quick because I was like, let me get the hype party. Valentino played, and then during the set, he had to tell him like, "Hey, Quavo's not coming." Everyone, now people were pissed. Some people were like, "Fuck!" They turned around, they started walking back. Some people fucking stuck it out, man. Fucking big ups to them, but it was a good time. He killed
Yeah.
it. Valentino killed it. He did it. People were like yelling, "Fuck Quavo." I was like, "Damn, man." I didn't say that, Quavo. I didn't say that. No beef, dude.
That's my fellow Titans. Shout out Cal State Fullerton. Shout out.
Shout out Quavo if you're watching.
Yeah,
shout out
Quavo.
I got to play.
But that about does it for this week, guys.
Awesome.
Shout out to Jose, also known as etc., for joining us this week. Shout out to Julie for being fangirling out and being here. Shout out to Brandon because he's about to read the names of our
Shout
Patreons.
out to our patrons who help make the show possible. Shout out to Yoel, shout out to Jada Chicano, shout out to Angel Zamaron, Sarah without an H, Carlos, Steven Carvajal, and Carla Corazon. Your patronage is always appreciated. If anybody wants to join, our link is always in the bio. Thanks again to Jose. It It was an awesome podcast.
Hey,
You're
man,
really
thanks
a
for having me.
natural. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you really
Thanks.
are.
We
Thanks,
really
guys.
appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come talk to us on the show. It means a lot to us.
Awesome, man. It means a lot for you guys to have me. My first pod. Let's go.
Let's
Thanks for having
go.
me, guys.
Pop that cherry.
Hey.
And we'll see you guys next week.
I don't know why I made that noise. Sorry. That was weird.
See ya.
See you next time. Bye.